This episode of The View from the Rock is brought to you by Sign Dog Northwest. They're your source for custom signs, banners, boat names, fleet graphics, and more. Custom design services available. Rob Thomas Drywall, the #1 drywall company in Ellensburg and Kittitas County. And Merle Inc. is the premier custom home builder in the Cle Elum area and a proud featured home builder in the Suncadia Resort in Tumble Creek. Welcome back to the View from the Rock podcast. I'm your host, Ruck, and I'm here in the Yellow Dog Studios for the first time in months with Papa Swappa and Morgie. Papa Swappa, how you doing?
Doing great. Did I hear a new sponsor on that list of sponsors?
That's right, boys. We got a new sponsor, Rob Thomas.
Matchbox 20.
Not the Matchbox 20, Rob.
Not
we know.
the Matchbox 20.
The better one. So he's grew up a good buddy with Sign Dog, and when we get to music review about concerts, we went to the Black Rose together, and he decided to be a sponsor of the podcast. And it's awesome. So now we got 3.
So, and all
What a
three
great-
have roots in Kittitas County. So we need to get local here somehow. So you local merchants out there.
We may need to have a podcast from that area.
That's a great idea.
And have all 3 of them on.
Now I noticed that that displaced the place of one of our others, Merle Inc. Rob Thomas.
It was more of a joke because Jeff doesn't listen anymore.
Oh, so it's not like he's gonna know.
Yeah. So
Wow.
this episode, there's going to be a lot of trash talking to a few people out there.
Well, that's when you were at your best, Mr. Morgenthaler.
Speaking of what this episode is about, in this episode, we're going to do a lot of recaps to start. We might just have a solid hour or 2 hours of just recapping everything that's happened over the last months and months and months where we've been off air. But eventually, at some point, we are going to get to our musical genre, which is music from 1991. Was that like a year that one of you graduated or was born or what?
I was matriculating at that point in time at Green River Community College, one of the higher academic institutes in South King County.
So part of that year, I was a sophomore. And then the fall of 91, when a lot of this occurred, I was a junior.
In high school.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Ruck was 4.
3. I was 3.
You were 3 years old.
Oh, my God.
So what's the reason we chose this then?
So the reason we chose music from 1991 is the fall of 1991. Some critics in the musical industry say it could be the greatest 2-month release of a few albums.
Wow.
And I'm
we'll
going to
get
do my
to.
best on this. I don't have my laptop. I don't have my notes.
We're just,
I'm naked and afraid right now, just like the TV show. I'm not literally naked for those of you in the listening audience. I don't have any technology with me.
yeah. So I'm going to just roll out a few,
Yeah,
and maybe you can guess a couple of them.
that sounds amazing.
So
And then Rock can just say he knows the music.
I don't even have my list of synonyms for amazing.
That's incredible. So after we're done,
I don't
with,
know where my list is either.
That's splendid.
After we're done with that musical genre, it looks like we've got a beer of the week from one of our great listeners who has previously given us a beer to try.
It's redemption
And,
time.
Let's not say that person's name and just go off with that.
Okay,
yeah.
it's redemption time.
Yeah, we're looking for the redeem team here. And then we're going to end it with top 3 burger toppings, which I have to say, I've got the meat sweats already about. So
Ooh.
I'm excited. Looks like we got shout outs though first.
Well, we got to give a few shout outs to the loyal listeners.
What do we got? I don't
Well,
have my list in front of me.
Who do you think's a loyal listener?
Guy Mitchell.
Okay, he's on that list.
Okay. How
Yeah, that's a
about
fact. I agree with that.
Eric Mithen?
He's on that list.
Okay, I'm 2 for 2.
Anyone else? Cameron Hunt
3 for 3. He is currently at an end of the year volleyball party.
Whoa.
with your wife.
Yes.
We got Roscoe,
Oh, nice.
right? Jack.
Yeah, he's on there.
Tara. I think Emily Fisher is one of them. And also Derek and Maddie, my two favorite pickleball players that I play with. Then we have a new segment tonight about pickleball too.
Is now a good time to talk about that? I mean, this was your debut on the pickleball circuit this weekend.
Debut, Sign Dog and I's first tournament ever up at Whatcom. And I was a little nervous.
Is there like a bracket that you compete in?
Correct.
Like, are you only competing against people over the age of 50?
I'm not 50 yet, so we can't do it.
You could pass, though, for 50.
But thank you. I'll be 49 this month.
Oh, my God.
For those of you that, do you know the day of my birthday this month?
June
I'm a Cancer.
17th.
That would not be correct.
26th.
27th.
All right.
So we might be at a concert.
So do you remember your 40th
Yes.
here?
Yes.
That seems like just 2 years ago.
That was 9 years ago.
It was. You had
Shimmick was here.
Shimmick, didn't he fall asleep by the fire?
Yes. And I could have just left him there all night, but I woke him up at like midnight. Like he would have just slept there.
By the fire.
On the ground. So pickleball. First off, I want to give a shout out to Maddie and Derek because they won gold today in the 4-0 mixed doubles this morning.
4-0, for those of you not familiar with pickleball.
Could be almost semi-pro.
Yeah.
And Brad and I...
3-5.
We were in a 3-5. And so what happens is we found out in the world of pickleball, there's a lot of sandbagging.
I've heard there's a lot of sandbagging.
So there's a lot of 4.0s playing in the 3-5 tournament. So Brad and I took 5th out of 16 teams, and we choked on one game. We were up 8-3, and we lost, and they ended up going into the medal round, and we would have got there. And then also a shout out to Maddie's husband, Adam Baldwin, and his partner, Caleb. They took bronze.
Same
division.
Okay.
And
3.5?
Yeah, and then Derek took silver. But I think, they were playing down. But there was a lot of people that do that.
So I've played with Derek. He's really good.
Yeah, these guys are good. Everyone's good. Teresa,
yeah,
Corey, all the McCartney. It's just a fun group, and I love it. I've got a new passion. And my passion is for pickleball.
And you got a new paddle.
And I just got my second paddle.
What is it?
It's a Sparta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What makes that a special paddle?
I don't know yet. We'll see.
And our paddles, when you buy them, there's like a weight thing to them, right?
And then it was also the first time we actually had a real umpire.
Oh, really?
Like ref our game, and he had a microphone on. And he actually checked our paddles to make sure they're legal, USA pickleball worthy. And he said the score, and then he would drop his hand, and then you could serve.
Oh, wow. So I've been with you before when you got called out for an illegal paddle.
That was 5-6 years ago?
At Thousand Trails.
Yes, and that was probably an illegal paddle by someone that was 60.
Who happened to be camping there.
Yes.
And he was Canadian.
Yeah, a lot of Canadians at the tournament this weekend. They dominated. They won the 3-5 gold. And they're not 3-5s.
Okay, so I've been trying to ask this question. How can someone who, like, you get a rating?
You self-rate
right?
in these tournaments.
Oh, in the tournaments
Yeah.
you do? That's stupid.
I know. So there was a guy that was in the final 8 of the 4-0 tournament that was just ending, and he's also playing in the 3-5. So he's in a 3-5 match, and then they're waiting for him to go to the 4-0, and then everyone complained, and he got kicked out of the 3-5.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like, how are you playing in both? And he was good. He's real good.
Did they have any singles up there, or was everything
No,
doubles?
everything's doubles. I don't think there's any singles anymore. So,
Huh. Remember when we used to play a lot of singles?
yeah. So we're going to be playing a lot of pickleball this summer, Ruck.
Never played it.
Well, I think you should play a little bit with us.
I mean, I'll play. I just want to warn you ahead of time. I'm traditionally terrible at racketed sports.
This is the easiest racket sport to start. It's
Okay.
a lot easier than tennis.
Hey, speaking of pickleball, how has sports betting been going for you?
I just hit the greatest parlay of my life this week.
Break it down for us.
$10 to win $150.
Okay, and a parlay for those who who are not degenerate gamblers.
2 or more things need to happen.
Yes.
Okay.
I had 5.
Cool.
Luka Doncic. Is that correct?
I think it might be Doncic.
I thought
It's
it was
not
Doncic.
Donk.
It might be.
Luka Donk.
I get confused with what
Definitely
sees. Is it Doncic?
Yeah.
I like Donk better now.
I like Donk.
He needed to get 10 rebounds.
Okay. And he just had the series of his life, didn't
But they were up 30 or 25 at half. So it's like, this game's over. So you're thinking, this is not going to happen. And then we're in the fourth quarter. All these other things have happened. Like Anthony Edwards got more than 7 rebounds, less than 30 points. Luka had more than 28 points.
Were those all in your parlay?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the last one was the rebounds for Luka. And he went back in the game because the Timberwolves cut it to 19. And then he got a rebound and then fell. And then kind of landed weird and then exited the game, and that was it. And he got the 10th rebound, and there was the parlay.
Wow.
15-1.
That's crazy. So
Thank you, Guy.
15-1.
Yes.
That means if you put
$1.
$10, okay, $1 down, you get 15.
Correct. So I put 10.
And then that means you got 150.
Correct. So it's kind of like a fun thing because normally those never happen.
And so then I imagine your payout increases the more you add on to the parlay.
100%. So some guys will do like a $10 parlay for 1,000 to 1.
Wow.
But like 17 things need to happen. And that probably happens 1 out of 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun. I mean, it's fun to go out there and put $5 on a parlay that's some crazy parlay, and you can sit there and have a nice Sunday afternoon hoping things happen.
And I can't wait for super regional baseball we need to bet on.
Oh, I know. This weekend would have been great. I just couldn't get out of the casino. It's regional weekend for college baseball.
So is that the first part of essentially the playoffs for college baseball?
Yeah, so it's 64 teams. There's 16 regionals, so 16 sites, 4 teams at each site, double elimination.
Gotcha.
And one winner, right?
One winner from each regional.
And then it goes to 16 teams
Yep, so there's 8 super regionals, 2 out of 3.
for each 2 teams.
Yeah.
Did Oregon State get a super regional host?
Well, we won't know until after we
Are
see
games still doing on right now?
Yeah, and there'll be games tomorrow too. So essentially today, this evening, as we speak, it'll be the 2-0 team playing a team that has a loss, and if those teams that have a loss win today, then they'll
Play
be
tomorrow because it's double. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is UW in it?
No, they had a bad year.
So do you have a rooting interest in this regionals?
I always just root for the Cinderella stories. Right now, it's Evansville. They're undefeated in the Greenville, East Carolina region. East Carolina's a really good baseball program.
Oh, wow.
Evansville knocked them off. So right now they're playing.
Is that Indiana?
Yeah.
In Indiana, I mean Evansville.
Evansville, yeah. They're the Purple Racers, maybe? Somebody, I could fact check that, but I don't have a computer.
Well, it was nice to see the Beavers. I like the Beavers just because I hate the Ducks.
They're both in it.
I know. And the Beavers, I was living in Oregon when they won the 2 national championships. And it was fun to watch.
And their catcher from then is now their coach.
And he was from Lake Stevens.
Correct.
Yeah. So they are playing the Anteaters.
UC Irvine.
And on their shirts or their jerseys, it says Eaters.
Oh, my God.
It's awesome.
There's nothing better than college baseball.
I mean, college baseball guys, their mustaches are amazing.
So, great game last night. I don't know if anybody watched it, but Texas A&M are playing at A&M. And they had an extra inning game last night. That was incredible.
And their rivals probably already.
Bitter. Bitter.
Can you briefly tell us today about what happened at summer basketball? The game before our game?
Oh, my God. We saw a bench-clearing brawl in summer basketball today.
Was Carter part of it?
He might have been
6'9" Carter?
He might have been the start of it.
That's Brennan's old teammate from Seattle Select.
So it was North Creek and Wapato. And I was
Wapato?
Of course, Wapato.
Yeah.
The Wolves.
So I'm sitting there
They're
drinking
feisty.
drinking a cold brew, coffee from down the road, and eating a pastry, waiting for our game to start. And all of a sudden, there's haymakers being thrown. Bench is clear. Wapato moms are on the court,
What?
and they ended the game. It was the only decision they could have made. It was bad.
So what was the inciting incident?
So thank you. That's a literary term, by the way.
So what is that? Can you go back and tell me what that means?
Well, in literature, that is the incident that starts the rising action.
Oh,
Yeah.
that gets to the climax?
Yes. So your boy Carter,
Yeah.
there was a little tussle for the ball, and the guy he was guarding ended up on the ground, and Carter did the thing where he steps over him and postures.
Okay.
And then the guy kind of grabs his leg, and then all of a sudden they're both on the floor, and all heck broke loose.
What do you expect when you step over someone? So
And
disrespectful.
you're 6'9".
So disrespectful.
Yeah.
Jeez.
North Creek and Wapato. It was crazy.
I'll have to text Carter's dad tonight.
And Mrs.
You
Swap,
met-
Mrs. Swap is 11 feet from the action, and for 30 seconds had no idea what was happening because her AirPods were in.
I had a nice conversation with Mrs. Swap today without her knowing.
Yeah.
She had her AirPods in?
Yeah. And I said, Kelsey, and she said nothing. And then I said, Bumblebee tuna.
And then you said something else inappropriate.
Because if you've seen Ace Ventura, you know what he says after that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then she still wasn't listening. So I had to yell.
She likes a good audiobook.
Maybe she was listening to the podcast. What are the chances?
Slim.
Odds. 20 to 1.
That'd be a good parlay.
Life parlays. I like that. All right.
So pickleball, just
Yeah.
to end it, great weekend by the crew that I play with. They're making me better. I'm just very happy for all those guys for medaling. That's my goal. Like when I saw that we choked and then they made it to the medal round, I was so PO'd. And so was Brad.
So do you have another tournament on the schedule?
We have a tournament on the 23rd of June. It's called the Strawberry Cup, and it's in Marysville. And we're going to kick some ass.
Are you going to be 3.0?
No, we're 3-5. We're going to stay 3-5 because we went 5-2.
I thought maybe you'd sandbag.
Well,
no.
I don't think I can do it. So all you sandbaggers out there, suck it.
How can you look yourself in the mirror in the morning if you're sandbagging in pickleball?
This is exactly what we tell all our kids that cheat in PE games.
Like we're playing ice cream tag.
Yes.
And kids are saying, I wasn't chocolate, I was strawberry. When we know they were chocolate.
Yeah, they're cheating
In
in ice cream tag.
Yeah. No, I'm not surprised by that at all. I have a question
Oh, real
about
quick,
pickleball.
sorry. Okay,
Is it
go
going to
ahead.
be an Olympic sport this summer?
Maybe, I don't know.
You have no idea. Okay.
But
You
there's a
can bet on
there's a
pickleball.
lot of money now to be made in pickleball.
You can bet on it.
Do you know the Rutz family? Ruck?
Yeah, I do.
Steve is almost pro,
Oh, I've heard that.
and his kids are good too. So just a little shout out to my sister and Megan. They started pickleball recently. I brought down one of our portable nets for them in their driveway. They bought paddles. They went to their first beginner class Friday night, and one of them is on the IR already. My sister might have torn her calf
Ooh.
Oh. That's
or
brutal.
severely strained it.
There's not many things worse than a severe strain.
Yeah. So rest up, sis,
Man.
so you can get back at it. She goes, her competitive juices got the best of her, and she tried to go get a ball, and she's like, I just couldn't stop myself. And then, boom.
I know.
And then her
I've,
legs swole up, and she could barely walk.
I've been out there, and you've seen me dive.
Yeah.
In pickleball.
I have never seen anyone dive other than Papa Swappa.
Hey, that's big time.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I
just
had a
hearing
guy
that.
that had 8-3. They were a smaller group of guys that we were playing against.
Like they were smaller people.
Smaller in height.
Okay.
There weren't
Micro.
correct. And he grunted really loud when he tried to slam it.
Oh my God.
And I took it and just put it right back at him. Bam! Point. And I didn't grunt.
Is there a before I forget, it is not in the Olympics this year. It's not in the Olympics for the next 2 sessions. So,
But it is on the list.
It's not. It said that it was going to have to hope for 2032 and beyond. So
It will be.
There's no plan currently for it to be in the Olympics. I was going to say, is there a lot of like trash talking in pickleball, or like do people get a little upset if you're like yelling about getting a point?
No,
or...
there's people that yell like it's very competitive,
But gentlemanly.
Yeah, it's the most, for the most part, 99% of the time, the most honest I've ever seen in terms of sports. Because you're calling your own, is it in or out?
Yeah, yeah,
And
you'd have to be.
I've only seen 1 or 2 people
Well, the
where they
morning
cheat.
the morning that we played, there was
We will
some-
not name names.
correct.
Now I imagine there's a
But you're like, oh, that was in, and it's like the greatest shot, and you're the only person that makes the call.
yeah.
Like someone could just lie, and I mean, within a centimeter, and say it was out, and you
Which-
would believe them.
And
If
then
you were 11
sometimes
years old,
you
you would
can't
do.
quite see it because you're playing the ball, and then your,
So your
partner,
partner
will
calls
call
it.
it.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's really good.
And there's got to be a lot of people that show up to these tournaments from the standpoint that there's got to be a lot of divisions. Like I assume there's a men's, a women's,
So there's a
mixed.
men's one day, women's one day, mixed one day.
Gotcha.
And then they started out at a 2-5, 3-0, 3-5, 4-0, 4-5. 5-0 is pro.
Gotcha.
And those people travel all over the U.S. And they have sponsors, and like there's vendors there. There was music. There's people watching, like family members. And
So what is your goal to get to be
my goal is
4.5?
to, no, I will never get there.
4.0?
Yeah, that would be a goal.
Okay.
And then my goal is to get a couple medals in 3-5.
Have you
tournaments.
seen some people that are like 4.5 or 5.0 players play?
Yes.
And is
Steve
it like,
Rutz.
And is it like, oh,
It's amazing.
God, I can't do
I
that.
got to play with him. It's just like watching the greatest basketball player you've ever played with. Like that's kind of the analogy I would
Yeah.
put in basketball.
Okay.
Where it's like every shot, like the consistency, just not making errors. That's big. And just he knows exactly what he's going to do this shot and 2 more. It's like chess. And then he's going to get you and then it's over.
Yeah.
And then it's, just the right partner. But I will say I was the first time I've ever been nervous. And there was no one watching.
Wow.
Like, it was like, I'm like, why am I nervous?
So where were you playing?
So we were playing at Wacom Community College.
They have pickleball courts.
Outdoor. And
Okay.
then they did the tennis area, they striped.
Okay.
So there were some, we played our first game over there. But there was a wide range of teams. Like we won 11-3 a couple games. And it took like 9 minutes. And then the team that won it all, they beat us 11-3. Like these guys from Canada, they worked us. I'm like, you guys tennis guys? They're like, nope, we started a year ago. But we were so crazy about it. My kids, they're older, so they're like probably low 50s, but their kids are gone. He's like, we were 3 hours a day every day practicing. Like that's what you have to do to get better. Just like any sport. But I got the fever.
nice.
So Nick and Jake Cummings have been talking a lot of smack
About pickleball?
that they think they can beat Brad and I.
Have they played?
Never.
Well,
So they think that they're going to win in a year.
Oh, well, they have a year to train then.
They won't train. Jake's a golfer. Like, they're not going to train.
Yeah.
It's not going to go well for them.
You'd have to practice a lot to be good, I feel like, at pickleball, because just like any of those racket sports, it's a high skill event. Like, obviously,
But
being
it's
athletic
easier
helps.
than tennis, so it's not.
Sure.
But the tennis people
Yeah.
have the advantage.
they have
Because they
the-
transfer from pickleball. They
Sure.
have the ground strokes. They have, like,
the footwork.
they know how to manipulate the paddle.
Have you heard of anyone coming over from ping pong?
Oh yeah, ping pong and tennis
Yeah.
is same.
Sweet.
Because when you have that forehand hard on ping pong and backhand, it's the same in pickleball.
That's what I'm saying. I'm terrible at those. So,
Well,
yeah, I'm going to be bad at pickleball.
but speaking of new listeners, Nick listened for the first time ever this week, Ruck.
He was very anti.
yeah, I'm sure.
And now we busted his balls so much that he's going to listen.
So
he listened.
Did.
And Adam Baldwin, pickleball guy, he sent me a screenshot of his truck driving home from pickleball, and he had on our latest episode.
So
And he's a realtor in town.
no, I know who Adam is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I coached Adam in football.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's really young.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
I was
28.
Oh my God.
I was young when I coached him, but did Nick give you any feedback? Was he like, it's not as awful as I thought it was?
We busted him so much that I'm like, dude, you're anti. I go, until you get on the bandwagon, I'm not giving you any merch, no stickers. And
I mean,
he
as the
started.
kids would say, he was being an op.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's kind of mid.
So what did he say after he listened to the show?
No cap.
He's like, I listened. I'm gonna keep listening. So now the only one that doesn't listen is Andy.
Okay.
But he's been here
He has been here and he actually talked, I believe.
faintly.
Yeah, we could hear it.
Hello.
I think that was the Thanksgiving episode.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we gonna pound out a few in the next month?
We need to.
I don't have anything else on my schedule.
Like maybe at the cabin
Yeah,
That's
let's
a
do
great
it.
idea.
I got
Dude,
it
we
starting the 14th.
of June.
Yes,
That's
when we're done with
we
school.
could go down there and
maybe bust out like 3 or 4.
and spend the night and just go through it.
Yeah. We could probably cover a lot of ground.
Podcast on the deck,
Yeah,
overlooking the water.
And you have Wi-Fi out there, correct?
we do.
Okay.
Oh,
That sounds great.
top 3 west-facing views from the northwest. Might be one of them. Could be Rock's cabin.
Wow.
I mean, you've been there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
That is
it could
quite the
be.
proclamation, though.
All right. What else do we got on the agenda?
Well, we have a sports recap. Do we need to take a break or no?
No, I'm doing great.
I'm doing phenomenal.
Sports recap. This is the greatest year in Anacortes history for sports.
It's been a great year in Anacortes
It's no
sports.
question. So
Yeah.
I'll let you guys take over because I am sitting in front of greatness. I mean,
Wow.
state title and top 4 in state.
Yeah. It's been a great year.
Coaches.
It's been a great year.
Tell us about it. Tell us about your run.
Well, baseball's a great year. I mean, we won districts, we won regionals, we were in the state semifinals. We ended up 4th. But and Mr. Morgenthaler, you were there for a lot of the ride. Probably 2 or 3 of the greatest high school baseball games I've ever seen.
Which were those?
The Linden game.
The Linden game was the greatest game I've ever seen for high school.
I mean, we probably had. You think we had 1,000 people down there at the
Oh, it
field?
was, yeah.
That was
And-
at home, right?
Yeah. And then, of course, I'm standing in my normal spot.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I was like, I was going to move, and guys like, don't mess up the mojo.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna go, and I was like, I haven't been, and I was reconsidering, like, if I've not been,
Well, there's a few that were first timers for
Yeah.
that game. But I mean, it was all Linden, all the way down the third base line. Every coach from Linden was there. Roper, basketball, football,
Yeah.
and all the players and everybody.
It's just an enormous crowd, and that's however you finish, just for kids to be able to play in games like that.
That's the most people ever, I think, for a high school game.
I think so, and I've been doing it a long time, and also at Mount Vernon, and we had some huge games over there. That's the most people I've ever seen at a game.
so that was a district championship.
and it was just
Right.
such a great game. It was district championship, so it was winner to state. Huge game.
So it took the pressure off.
Yeah,
So they didn't have to win the next game.
yeah. So when was the last time you guys were district champions?
that's the first time for me
Yeah.
since I've been here.
Do you
Our
know-
district is so tough.
Yeah.
How many times have you qualified, though, for regionals here?
Here, I think 6.
And the first district title?
Yeah.
And do you have any idea historically? Like,
They won a district title. The 2 years I was out, they won one in, I think, 2014. We won one when I was a senior in 1990. But I'd have to see if there were any others before me, before I was coaching. But it's just hard in our league. You know, you think of Linden and Burlington and Seaholm and all the teams that are historically good programs year in and year out. Mount Vernon at times has been the same classification as us. It's the best district in the state. And it was just such a great game. There were so many twists and turns, and then the regional championship against Sela was probably rivaled it as a great game.
Oh, I don't know. Sela, we might need to get a Sela sucks sticker made.
Yeah.
are there
And
jerseys?
then we're gonna put them randomly.
Oh man.
You know what? It was awesome. I might have gotten into a heated argument with Sela's coach.
Was this up at
Might
Joe
or
Martin?
might not.
Is this at Joe Martin?
This
in
was
Bellingham?
No,
here.
this was at
Oh, this was
Anacortes.
here.
Yes.
Yeah. So
They hosted the regional, which is amazing.
Yeah.
The whole process for you.
the whole process was amazing. And so we ended up hosting a regional, which I did not expect because top 4 get to host a regional, and we ended up top 4. So Sela comes here. They thought they should have hosted a regional. So we're 4 and they're 5.
And it's a long way for them to travel.
And they're very uncomfortable outside of Sela, but they're one of the best programs in the state every year. They were bitter from the minute they got here.
We've never played on turf, so we have nothing but spikes.
Yeah.
Tough.
So the game ends on a balk, and we win the game. We celebrate. We shake hands.
Was it a balk? Did you see it?
I thought it was a balk.
We all thought it was a balk, which is a crappy way to lose a game.
So the game ends on a balk. We shake hands. We celebrate. People leave, and a half hour later, they get the balk overturned.
What?
Yes.
How?
They protested, and they called somebody. Like there's umpires and somebody from the stands, and they're on a phone.
I want to know though.
Is there video they were using?
I have video now of it. I
the
still
balk?
I do. I still think it was a balk.
Wow.
Well, so what's the score?
It's 1-1.
Yeah, bottom of 7.
Bottom of 7. We have just had the greatest play in the history of baseball in the top of the 7th.
Yeah.
We catch a ball in foul territory and throw out a guy tagging from third.
Wow.
And it's just twists and turns. And so we end up having to go finish the game. And
So
it's just
Von
weird.
Egdom's on. He's up to bat,
With the bases loaded.
and he hits a base hit.
Yeah.
So that was extra sweet then.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? And they're so cocky. They're the Seaholm of the East Side.
They are.
Hey, so are their jerseys awful and ugly and terrible? Because
Not like Seaholm. They actually look pretty cool.
do they have like any sort of neon yellow in their jerseys?
No.
No.
Their track uniforms are all neon yellow.
Sela?
Yes.
How?
They're
Really?
awful.
How can you not have the same colors for the whole year? That's stupid.
They're like dark blue and yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're dark blue and yellow, but like they show off the yellow portion for track. They're nasty.
So what? So then,
So then we go to Bellingham, Final Four. We get no hit by Enumclaw. We lose 2-0, and it was a good game. And then 2-1 to Linden in the 3rd and 4th place game, and that was a good game. I mean, we went up there and played well. We just ended up 4th.
Yeah.
So
great run.
it was a great season. It's baseball's so hard. It's just so hard to the way it's set up to win a regional. You're having to win 2
Because you're
games
not
in a
set
day.
up like a college team where you have 7 pitchers
Yeah.
and 5 starters. Like you have 2.
It's hard. And in baseball, the best team doesn't always win. In fact, often the lesser of the 2 teams wins. It's hard.
And Enumclaw, weren't they like 33-3 or something like that?
They had won 23 in a row.
Did they end up winning it?
They ended up getting second.
Oh, that's even better because they hate us right now because football, we kicked them.
Yeah.
And then we beat them at state or in Yakima in December.
Yeah.
By 20 in basketball.
Who ended up winning? Was that Columbia River?
Columbia River.
And they Columbia. You know how big that school is?
No.
It's got like 1,200.
Oh, of course.
How is that possible for 2A?
That's the cutoff.
No, they
1,200.
got like 13 or 14 because they don't count those kids because of some program.
Oh, they're in like some sort of Cap Santa or like something like that.
But our league for baseball, Linden got third, we got fourth, Mount Vernon second, Meridian second. So 4 teams from our league
In the top 4
in
of
the
the
top
state.
4.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a great year.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's amazing.
So
Okay.
track.
I watched it.
Yeah.
It was so awesome on the TV.
I didn't realize that you guys could watch from home.
NFHS.
I
And then
didn't-
you put it on the big screen. I'm at my dad's house. It was so fun.
So yeah, it
But
was
only running event, like no
Yeah.
field.
Yeah, they didn't show any of the best events. Got it. That tends to happen. They show video, but it's only running events and none of the other stuff.
I know.
Yeah, it was an incredible season. We're co-state champions with Columbia River. First time we've been state champions, co or otherwise.
Whatever. State champion
yeah.
is state champion.
Yeah, I normally just say state champions. That's what I'm
You
going to
don't
say
have to
from
say
now
co.
on out. A kind of funny story. The sprinter from Columbia River, as soon as we know that we've tied them, comes up to us and is like, Brad and I, and he's like, "Hey, congrats, guys! You guys won it." We're like, "You guys won it too?" And he goes, "No, you guys beat us in the tiebreaker."
What's that?
There isn't one, FYI. There's no tiebreaker. So he goes, "Well, you guys had more first place finishes than we do, so you guys won it." And we're like, "Oh, okay."
If you think about it, yeah, screw them.
I mean,
That's
but
a tiebreaker.
but it's not a tiebreaker.
I know.
So,
They're still going to get a banner.
yeah, actually, they got the real trophy. They took
What?
it. Yeah, they took it with them, and we got one of like the smaller ones. So we're gonna have to get that from them at some point because
What?
there's only one giant trophy.
No, I know. I'm sorry. We might have to make a road trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ruck.
So, it was a great season all along. We knew that we had really great athletes. I mean, you're not gonna win without great athletes in any sport, but especially in track, like you could have 2 incredible athletes and you could win state. Just the way the points breaks down. Last year, Seaholm had like 70 points. They went first in the 100, 200, 400, 1632, 800, and right there, that's like 60 points.
And they had the one really good runner, right?
They had one
No,
really
that
good
went to
distance
USC.
runner. No,
Well, who's that? That was the sprinter.
The sprinter went to USC, and then their distance kid went to NAU, Northern Arizona, which is one of the best programs for distance. So it's weird how you can win a state title. You just need a few extremely good kids, and you'll win. We had more than that, though. We had quite a few boys that go with us, but we kind of calculated ahead of time, like we could win this, and
Like you kind of put together like simulation of points.
yeah, you kind of see who's going to be in contention for it, and so you add it up, and you kind of go, all right, like we were thinking we might win it, but it was going to be a couple points difference that we might win it by, and not every day was perfect, and so we had a little bit of ground to catch up, and eventually, some kids really hit in their events and had 3 first place finishes and came down to that last 4x4. The 4x4 is probably one of the most exciting races to watch just because you can have such comeback happen because you've got 4 different kids all running 400 meters, and the 400 meters probably more than any of the other events. Like it's about like how much pain can you handle, how much grit you have. And so going into that 4x4, we needed 8 points, needed to be second place. If we weren't second, we wouldn't get it. Coming in from prelims, we were ranked 5th. We
I thought it was third.
Well, we were ranked fifth because we ran 325, and there's the team from East Valley that ran 318. That was a state record. And then there was Tumwater, I think, at 322, and then there's like 323, 324, something like that. I might be slightly off, but we had to do better. And I think our fastest time at that point was 322 or 23. So we needed to set our own school record in order to do it.
And it was so awesome.
And the first kid ran a great leg.
Did you have to win it?
If we had won it, we would not be co-champions.
Okay.
But third place, they're out. They're second place in state.
Oh man.
And we weren't. Yeah. So we had to run basically a PR or better in order to make sure we were second. So the first two legs are great.
Who was Ryder first?
So
leg?
Ryder was the first leg. He ran an awesome leg. I want to say it was like 51 or something like that, maybe 50. The other coaches know what their times are. And then the next leg was
Dylan,
and he ran a 50 something, and it was an awesome leg. Caught us back up to right behind the second place team, Tumwater, and then Tumwater just like is full on sprint. Like that doesn't look like they're running a 400 at the start. The kid's legs are moving way too fast. His turnover, and they catch themselves up close to the first place team, and they build a gap between us. But then the last 200 of that third leg, Brock Beener caught up.
Brock?
Yeah, caught up to him on that third leg and got past him. And then when he handed off to Brady on the last leg, we were probably 30 or 40 meters now behind the first place team. And Brady ran like the split of his life, like 47 seconds. Like if he had ran that in the open 400, he would have been first place.
Yeah, and those two will just, whatever they need to run to win, they will run.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was so awesome. Like I'm watching it on the TV, and I got goosebumps right now. I'm standing with my dad, and we can just see it
Yeah.
happen.
We ran like 320 is what we ran. Set the school record. I think the other team was a half second in front of us. Like next year, like
Well, Ryder's going to be gone.
yeah,
Kelt?
yeah. We got a lot of
You got
a lot
some
of people
options?
that are gonna be fighting for that spot.
Yeah.
So
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Oh, and then we had a tennis state champion.
Yeah. Oh, I can't. You know what? Briefly say what happened.
So the WIA, in their infinite wisdom, schedules tennis and baseball on the same weekend, even though tennis is a fall sport. So our starting second baseman had to choose between tennis and baseball. And he chose tennis because baseball can still compete if he doesn't go to baseball. If he doesn't go to tennis, his partner can't compete. So nice work.
And they won a state title.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
and that was Van Egdom and
Sawyer. Yeah.
Swear Nichols.
That's awesome. Yeah. So between that and what were we in basketball? What place?
Final 8 in state.
Okay, and then in football we were number 1 as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
No, it's never happened. So.
And I was telling somebody yesterday, might have been you yesterday, for us in a year when we only have 2 teams get out of districts,
Yeah, it's even harder.
yeah.
for us to be able to do that this year, amazing.
So that's the greatest sports year ever.
And I mean, in track, like we absolutely rewrote all the records. Like we had a record that had been held since 1961 in the 100 meters. Finally fell this year.
He ran a 10.77?
Yeah.
So was the win that bad at state? He was like 11.2.
The wind was terrible at state. And it was
5.1.
We were throwing into it. We were running into it. It was brutal. The worst wind I've ever experienced there.
So it was my first year being, having a kid do track. And
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Oh, I love it. I
Yeah.
love cross country. I love track. Swimming. I love swimming.
I love it all.
I love it all. But those sports it's only you, really.
Yeah.
Like, how do I get better, Dad? Swim faster. You have to beat that time or run faster.
That's
or
what's
jump
cool about it. There's
farther.
nobody to blame.
No.
You can't blame the coach.
You can't blame the 4
ref.
other players on the team
Yeah.
because you were part of a 5-on-5. It's like you. I love it.
Yeah. No
love
BS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else
We're
we
big
got?
fans.
What else we got?
Well, we got to
Man.
do a concert recap.
Oh my God.
Should we take a break?
And a concert preview.
Yeah.
We can take a break if you want.
I don't need a break.
I don't have anything to say during this. I don't even know what this concert recap is.
So give us a concert recap.
Okay, real quick.
You went up a couple weeks ago.
No, before, right? I think the first couple weeks of April, Sign Dog and I went to Black Crowes.
And that was at Macaw.
Yeah, Macaw Hall.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Rob.
Matchbox
for the
20.
first time. And where he's now a new sponsor.
So how was
And
Black
Matt
Crowes
Rue.
compared to when we saw Black Crowes?
I thought our time was better.
Okay.
We were a little farther away
Uh-huh.
on this one, but it's their new album. It was great.
Yeah, they're
Like,
really
they're
good.
so good. Oh,
They're extremely talented
yeah.
musicians.
Oh, yeah.
And their front man,
Chris Robinson.
yeah, he is a true front man.
Yeah. And his brother is so good on guitar. And so that was great. And then the highlight was Pearl Jam and their new album, Dark Matter Tour. And so we got tickets for Vancouver. So it was Josh and Nicole and I and Kelly met up with Sign Dog and his wife, Heather. And it was amazing. Amazeballs. I only cried once. And yes, I cry at concerts.
Did they play your song? Is that why?
They played Black.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard Black in concert?
Twice.
Yeah.
And Immortality. They led off with it.
I don't know what that is, but
That's the
sounds good.
song name.
Okay.
Yeah, you do. You've heard that.
Sure.
So that was Brad's second show. It was two times in Vancouver. And then he also went to both shows in Seattle.
Ugh.
Holy crap.
And they let off with Black on the final show when it was with him and Luca and Staley.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Well, he named his kid Staley after Lane Staley of Alice in Chains.
That's awesome.
So
It was so fun. Kelly got to go.
what do you have for this summer? What do you have planned for concerts?
So we have one of your favorites towards the end of the summer,
Yeah.
Everclear.
Yeah, and Mrs. Swap is going to go to Everclear.
And Kelly's going.
Everclear. Dang.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big fan because they stole Bob's beer.
That's right.
What?
Coach Vokes hates Everclear.
Oh, I don't
He was
remember
play-
this
They
story.
were their band.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Were they opening for him?
Gravel.
Gravel was opening?
Yeah, or maybe the second band. And Art, the lead singer of Everclear at the time, he stole all of Bob and their band's beer.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Bob hates Everclear.
And I hate Everclear.
I forgot all about that. But you know what? I like Everclear.
I know you do.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun.
It'll be fun. Yeah.
And then, so I'm seeing Everclear. I'm seeing the White Buffalo in August at the
And I'm going
Crocodile.
to be gone.
The White Buffalo's in Tacoma Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't know. If
I
we
don't
can
know.
do it.
And then I'm seeing, I think I mentioned this on the last show. I'm seeing Cake and the Stones next
Yeah.
month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else we have for like real music?
Is that it? Is that all we have? I'm sure something will come up.
I mean, I'm not going to a concert, but I'm going to go to see Caitlin Clark when she's in town.
Oh, that's right. That's
June
what it is
27th.
on my birthday.
Oh,
Because my parents are going.
Oh, really?
but you know
With
what
my
else?
sister, who won't be
Nice.
able to walk. They might get better seats.
Oh,
You
there
know what
go.
else we're going to go see, though? And it's not a concert.
Yes.
Oh,
Are we ready?
let's have our minute.
All right, here we go. Morgie's Midget Minute. We're going to midget wrestling at Angel of the Winds Casino, baby. All three of us. We should podcast in front of it beforehand
In the parking lot?
of the casino.
We just need something that we can record on. We can make that happen. So, are there still tickets available?
I believe GA only.
We're standing room only, right?
Correct. There
Yeah.
are seats, but I actually have 6 tickets, and we have 3 other people coming with us.
So we got a couple open spots. Is what you're saying?
We have 1 open spot.
But we have a couple friends of the podcast coming.
Yes. Do we need to name them?
I think we should.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Mithen and Mr. Curtis.
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that Mr. Mithen was coming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's
He was
go.
gonna bring his boys, but it's 18 and over
And
only.
because here's why. Kelly wanted to go and take the boys,
Yeah.
and they would have loved it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, in very small fine print, 18 or older.
So that week,
That's weird to me.
So it's July 12th, actually, and that is Brennan's birthday and my anniversary.
Oh,
So we are celebrating our anniversary the day before,
okay.
and then the day after is Brennan's.
So you're married to a very special woman to allow you to go to midget wrestling
Yes.
on your anniversary. So that week, I'm going to see Cake on Tuesday, the Stones on Wednesday, and midget wrestling on Friday.
And what did we just find out? What's on the next day? There's a concert or some musical on July 13th.
Well, I just sent you, what did I send you today? Warrant is going to be in Bremerton, but I think that's a different date.
So about that, I don't know who's on the road tour. So maybe we can look at previous venues and see. But I mean, I think we need to put some money down on who could possibly be there from the show.
Andrew the Giant.
How about Psycho?
How about Pink Chocolate?
That's who we want to be there.
How about Hot Rod? Hot Rod ended up being the man.
And that's the guy that rides in on the little.
No, that's Iva, the micro. I don't think Iva's coming.
He's not going to drive his mini Jeep all the way up from
No.
the East Coast.
Is he the one with brittle bone disease?
Yes.
Okay.
How about,
yeah.
I think the Lil Show, the Redneck Brawler versus Hot Rod.
If you had to choose two,
I want the Lil Show versus Hot Rod
okay.
I want Pink Chocolate.
versus Psycho versus her husband. They're engaged. They might be married now.
Holy smokes.
Yeah,
need-
it's
they
been
need-
a few months.
I hope that they made that into like a little special.
I think they're going to
micro
have
wedding.
season 2 for sure.
It seems like they should. A lot of people are talking about it. All right, so we have gotten to our musical genre at this point. Are we taking a break right now? Are we rolling?
I think we need to take a break.
All right, we can make that happen. Welcome back to the View from the Rock podcast. Before we get into our musical genre, we just had a few more things to mention from earlier in the show when we were doing our sports recap. First of all, in our break, we realized that the Trap and Skeet Club, am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
I believe so.
They were first in state. So that's amazing. Some former students of ours, we went through the list, recognized a lot of them. So congrats to them on that. And we also didn't mention anything about our girls track and field team. I think we took 8 as part of our girls team. There wasn't any relays. That adds a lot of numbers of kids on there. But I think our top finishes were second place in the 3200 from Kate Griggs, and then a couple 6th places in the high jump from Regan and Carmen, and then we had a 7th place in the 3200. We had an 8th in the 800. We did a good job. We were close to top 10.
Was that Limerick
Yeah.
and Chambers? Was she?
No. Yeah. So we're close as a team to being top 10. Yeah, it was a good season from that girls group. Tough in our district, like you talked about. So tough getting a lot of people on. Like we had 3 people in triple jump auto qualify, which means they jumped far enough to automatically make it to state, but they were not top 2, which you would need to be to move on. So that was pretty good. And then we had one record that was set this year. Amy Hansen in the 100-meter hurdles broke her own record, which previously was held by
Krista.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, she doesn't care. She's not listening.
She doesn't even want me to say it like that, but that's fine.
I know.
Anyways, so
Yeah.
congrats to all
Andy,
those
I
groups.
hope you're out there.
Hey, they just had their 22nd anniversary, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be 21 years
Wow.
on July 12th.
I think I'm going to be.
Your wife's amazing.
What's happening?
I'm going to be 18.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What's your anniversary?
June 21st.
Oh.
You're going to have to remind me of that June 20th.
Are we going to be around? Or is that still the week of the podcast week?
What week?
Till the like the 18th?
June 18th?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the Tuesday. Like
I know.
we'll have just went back to school on that Monday.
I know, for work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the
Yeah,
19th.
we should be, that week
We'll
should
be
be
around.
pretty open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be good.
Cool. What do we got next?
Yeah. So we got musical genre.
Ooh.
Music from 1991.
What a great year. Some say the best year.
It could, I mean, in terms of where we live and what happened in 91 was, I mean, it can't get, I don't think it can get any better.
And it sounds like it wasn't even necessarily the whole year. It was that there was 2 months in there that
The fall.
arguably are the greatest 2 months in album releases.
If I had my computer and I wasn't just going off of what's in the air right now, there were like 2 or 3 albums that might have been released on the same day.
Well, there were, yes, there were.
Yeah.
So Coach Swap right now does not have the list. And so I'm going to give him one album, and then he's going to try and get 1 or 2, and then we're going to look at the list.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm not even sure what's happening, but it's going to be awesome.
Okay, so the first album that I found that I love, I mean, it's one of my top 3 or 4 bands, is
Yeah.
Soundgarden. And Bad Motorfinger was released in the fall of 91.
I remember we talked about this in a previous podcast, and I used the term ghetto blaster, which we discussed whether or not that was an appropriate term. But I lived in a small room in a small apartment in Nampa, Idaho, and I had my little small stereo, ghetto blaster. And I played Bad Motorfinger over and over again. And Slaves and Bulldozers, I think
Yeah.
there are very few songs that absolutely kick ass like Slaves and Bulldozers.
I'm going to re-listen to it tonight. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And then to hear Cornell's range on Outshined.
Yeah. Jesus Christ Pose.
Oh, yeah. So
Rusty
that-
Cage.
and Rusty Cage. So, Ruck, you've heard those songs.
Yeah, no, I mean, the stuff that you've got on here, it's not like I'm well listened in this time frame of stuff from the 1991, but I can say that everything you've got here, for the most part, I've heard of and I've listened to. So, Soundgarden, Bad Motorfinger, thumbs up from me.
So, okay. So now,
What do you got next?
no, Swap's going
Well,
to try
but-
and predict one.
Okay.
Well, I thought that he was supposed to guess what
Or
that
guess.
album was. Is that what you were doing?
No, I want him to just think about that year. I think he can. And
Okay.
come up with one album from one band.
Okay.
So, how about Pearl Jam 10?
Bingo. Second on the list. Nice work.
But do you remember how, like, I don't know how true it was, but the urban legend was that the remaining members of Mother Love Bone had these tracks with no lyrics, and they sent it to Eddie Vedder, and he just kind of overlaid some stuff onto their instrumentals.
That's 100% accurate.
and it just
And then they flew him up.
and whatever process they did, it was magic.
So if you ever hear the song Footsteps, that was one of the original things that he created with that.
And it's when you hear that, you can hear that in the music.
Yeah. So that's number 2.
So that whole album was written based upon Mother Love Bones.
Not necessarily the whole album. So like if you listen to Alive, that's Eddie Vedder talking about how he never knew his dad.
Okay.
Home alone at age 16 while my father's dying.
But yeah, I mean, all the lyrics are his, but you were saying
But that's him though. I
all
mean,
of it
so-
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it
there
was
are-
magic.
Yeah, there's certain parts for everyone. Like Jeff and Stone were part of the other band, Mother Love Bone, and they're the one that started Pearl Jam because their lead singer died, Andrew Wood, like
So-
a year earlier.
Right. So 10 is their first album.
Correct. Yes.
And did it sound like at their recent shows that they did, at least one of them, he said something about, wishing those guys were still around, or does he bring them up?
Oh yeah. Well, he'll sing one song that first time he ever sang it was 2000 or 2005, and it was Crown of Thorns.
Yeah.
And I've never heard Crown of Thorns live. And that's the song that Andrew Wood sang, and he sang it for the first time. It took 15 years for him to get able to do it.
Now,
So Chloe Dancer, Crown of Thorns.
Big piano intro.
Yeah. No, I've heard it, but who originally did that?
Andrew Wood, Temple. So
Temple
Mother
of-
Love Bone.
Yeah.
Mother Love Bone.
Yeah.
And Temple of the Dog was like Andrew Wood.
Tribute.
Yes.
Oh, okay. With Cornell.
Yeah. And so speaking of, that's on the list.
Temple of the Dog is.
1991.
And it was eponymously named album, right?
Yep.
So, and that, I mean, everybody knows Hunger Strike.
Yeah.
But.
And that's when Eddie just showed up.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, why don't you just sing a little bit? Remember when in the field, I'm going hungry? And they're sitting in like Tacoma on the water.
But how about Say Hello to Heaven?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So Times of Trouble on that album is from Footsteps.
Yeah.
What do you mean from Footsteps?
Well, like it's the same intro. So if you listen to Footsteps and then you listen to Times of Trouble with Temple of the Dog, it's McCready.
okay.
So it's the same little, it's one's with a guitar, one's a little different.
So
The
Pearl Jam
beginning.
kind of borrowed that from that song?
Temple of the Dog borrowed it from Footsteps, from Eddie.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's, okay. So you got the second one. Do you think you can get the third one?
Well, whether it's third or not, I mean, Nevermind has to be on there.
That's the third one.
Right?
Yeah.
And
So-
I've said this before, but that was the one album in my life where, like, if I was in the U District walking around, you would hear it in the street, you would hear it, and you'd walk to the next block, and you'd be walking outside a frat house, and you would just hear that album playing.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool to think back to that time period because there's a real, like, I guess, culture, a clear culture that you could see in Seattle. And I don't know if that's still present because there's just so many cultures there, which is great. But I don't have nostalgia because I didn't exist during that time. I wasn't old enough, but like, I'm jealous that I couldn't have been around at that moment.
Oh, it was amazing.
And there was a thing like last week on social media. I'm reading a bunch of stuff on Twitter, and there was like, for whatever reason, somebody was starting a thing on, is Nirvana overrated? I'm like, why do people even have to say that?
Yeah.
I imagine that people start to say that kind of stuff when they see a lot of people who maybe don't even listen to Nirvana wear Nirvana shirts because those Nirvana shirts are cool for kids to wear.
Yeah.
I imagine that conversation happens.
And their body of work was pretty minimal, right?
They changed it though. They changed the landscape. Like it went from 80s glam, hair rock.
Yeah.
Those bands were over.
They're pretty awesome though.
They're amazing. But
Yeah.
once grunge hit, it was like, boom, we're done.
Yeah.
Like Motley Crue's not doing well right now. Def Leppard's not. Right?
Yeah. It
But
just changed.
Yeah,
And
and it was like 8 years.
Well, I noticed that the only one of those type of bands that you have in there is Guns N' Roses.
Yep. And that was Use Your Illusion 1.
okay, so I thought that album kind of sucked, to be honest with
the
you.
second one is the best one.
Yeah, so they had on Use Your Illusion 1, was that November Rain?
I think November Rain's on 2.
Okay, I can't even remember which ones were on which, but there was...
But I think when Josh Johnston got me on this. He thinks one of the most underrated Guns N' Roses songs of all time is Civil War. And now on Use Your Illusion 2.
Okay.
And we played it on the way home from Pearl Jam. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is amazing.
It's a good song, and they have
Yeah.
the intro with...
What's her name?
oh, God, they have the intro from Cool Hand Luke with Struther Martin talking.
Yeah. But just the guitar it's amazing. All right. So we got one of Ruck's favorite bands, Metallica.
And that was their self-titled album.
Correct.
The Black
Or the
Album.
Black Album.
Well, yeah. It's not actually the Black Album, right? Because it just is a black cover, but I think it was actually self-titled, right?
Correct.
But people refer to it as the Black Album.
Yep.
When we saw that tour
94 or
in
95.
or 93,
And,
those years run together. We saw it at Memorial Stadium. We've talked about it before. The hottest day I've ever been
Yep.
in
Oh,
with
dude.
Candlebox and Suicidal
Yes.
Tendencies.
And it was supposed to be Alice in Chains. Okay.
You know, it's probably not too late. We can still get Metallica tickets for the end of the summer.
I know.
What day?
It's like August.
I
And
know.
there-
August
it's
what?
2 different days, and one
I'm
day,
missing Foo Fighters.
one day they're with Anthrax or Pantera.
Yeah. And the other one,
I would go see Pantera.
They're with like
I
Mammoth.
I love Pantera.
Like Mammoth, I think is the other one.
Yeah, I think so too.
Wolfgang?
Yes.
He's so good.
Wait, is that Wolfgang?
Yeah.
Like the Wolfgang?
Yes.
Oh, geez. I
His
didn't
band
realize
is
that.
Mammoth.
Oh, I didn't know that. Shoot.
Let's keep that on the hopper. I don't know
Alright.
what days those are.
I'm looking it up right now.
So you're 3 for 3.
So how about Blood Sugar Sex Magic?
Oh, he's 4 for 4. That's number 4 on the list.
Because that was a great album.
Yeah. So that all happened. Like 2 or 3 of those were the same day. They released Bad Motor Finger 6 weeks after.
Uh-huh. Oh, man. And Blood Sugar Sex Magic was great. And I saw them, we've talked about this, at Lollapalooza in 92. And I had wormed my way up through the day and got up to the rail in front of the stage for the Chili Peppers. And there was a moment where I thought I'm going to get crushed.
Really?
Yeah.
There were that much force behind you.
It got to that point where I thought, okay, am I going to be one of those guys?
So do you just wave to the guy and say, like, I'm getting crushed. I need to get out?
I never got to that point.
Well, you hear about that stuff.
You do.
Yeah. So what's your favorite song off that album?
It's a cliche, but Under the Bridge.
That's mine too. So
When
know-
they at that concert, when they broke into that slow guitar part at the
he's
start,
laughing at us.
I'm not. You guys can talk about Red Hot Chili Peppers as long as you want. The only thing I have to add is that there was a time in my life where I really liked them, and I don't know why. It's not like I wanted this to happen, but I became so burnt out on them that I dislike them now. And it's not that there's any of their songs that I don't know if it's the sound of their lead singer's voice.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on it, but like I hear it and I have to like turn it.
well,
I
he's
can't listen.
he's a talk singer, kind of like the
That's
guy
true.
from Cake.
Or like David Lee Roth.
Yeah, he's a talk singer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but he's a great front man.
Yes.
Hey, so I found out the dates. Metallica is playing August 30, and then September 1st.
I think those days are open for
No,
me.
they're not. August 30 is Everclear,
Oh,
who we've already bought money to.
okay. We're going to Everclear that night.
So that has to be September 1st.
Yeah,
Well, but it's like there's a day in between because August 30th is a Friday and September 1st is a Sunday.
and that's got to be Labor Day weekend.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you see who they're with both those days?
No, the 1st, because we can't go the 30th because we're at Everclear.
Yeah. So
While he's looking, how about U2 Octung Baby?
Ooh, I just think of Detlef Schrempf putting down a dunk and Kevin Calabro saying "Achtung, baby." Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Smashing Pumpkins, Gish. Ozzy, No More Tears.
Yeah,
REM, Out of Time.
I don't like REM.
Yeah, I know you don't. A really nice NWA album, and I'll leave it at that. And then Tom Petty, Into the Great Wide Open.
And that was a great album.
Yeah.
dude,
There's got to be a ton more.
you
I-
missed an album.
I know I did.
One of my
I saw
favorites.
him on that tour. I saw Tom Petty on that
I know.
tour.
Hey, Ruck, I put
So-
together 16 albums.
And I love that you did that. Yep. Dude, Friday's the much better show. Friday is Pantera and Mammoth. Whereas
What day is that?
the
30th?
whereas
Well-
the Sunday one is Five Finger Death Punch and Ice Nine Kills, which I don't know what any of that is.
Well,
You know what? We're going to Everclear.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
are.
understand.
That's
If I
going
would
to
have
be
known previously the day before, we
no.
would not be going to
We're
Everclear.
going to Everclear.
I know.
Mrs. Swap agreed to go to Everclear,
And my wife agreed.
and that's a major coup.
Yes. we are going.
Here's what you missed out on the album. You did not put down A Tribe Called Quest.
I know.
The Low End Theory.
I know.
It's one of my favorite albums. It's so good. Check the rhyme. We got the jazz.
I know.
Scenario.
I looked and I was running out of time. I saw the list.
Man.
I'm sorry.
So, hey, I've got a question for you guys. When did Singles come out?
92.
And that was part of that entire scene as
But
well.
if you look at like Alice in Chains, they have albums that come out in 92 and 90.
And they're my favorite band
So
of all of those.
Dirt is one of my I love Dirt.
Yeah.
So that came out in 92.
I love Alice in Chains.
I know. I do too.
Rest in peace.
Anybody else we got, Ruck, on the music?
Knowing that like stands out to me as far as that I really like. I mean, there's a lot of songs on
This
like
is the time that you can remind everyone about where they can reach out to us if they find different albums.
Yeah, if you find something lacking in what we've said today, or you feel like we've made some errors, or you'd like to vent at us that, for example, Red Hot Chili Peppers is the best band ever, despite what I say, you can feel free to email that to The View from the Rock podcast, right? Is it podcast or is it just?
I don't know.
I think it's the view from the rock at gmail.com.
I think that's right. I'm checking right now. So
Yes.
I believe it is the view from the rock at gmail.com. And let me just
you are
say that
correct.
our most passionate emails that we get, of the tens of emails that we get, are people saying that we forgot such and such during our musical genre segment.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And also some really good sports bets.
Oh.
Yeah. So the
Hey.
view from the rock at gmail.com. Send it to us. Sometimes we get some great ideas. Like Eric Mithen will send us some great ideas, or Guy Mitchell will send us some great ideas. So feel free to do that too. We love ideas.
That's a good segment right there.
That
Hey.
was good.
Yeah.
I just thought of that today at basketball, 1991.
That's a great year.
You know what's
So,
good?
Ruck, you're going to pick the next one.
Sure. You know what's good when you it makes you want to go back now and listen to that stuff. Like I really want to listen to the album you didn't put on there, the Low End Theory, but I also want to listen to what was it? Well, I listen to that Metallica album every day, but I want to listen to Soundgarden, that album. Yeah.
That Soundgarden album.
That would make me jump 3 inches higher.
Yeah.
Listening to Soundgarden.
I remember listening to a podcast. It was Tom Morello's podcast, and I forget who he was talking to, but she said that somebody sent her Bad Motorfinger and said, I have a band that you've never heard of that is better than Led Zeppelin.
Oh, no, yeah. And he says it blew his mind.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a
He
cool
says
story.
that every day on his, what is it, One Man Revolution?
Yeah.
Yeah. He says a lot about Soundgarden.
Hey,
Well,
so
he was in a band with Cornell.
I know.
Can you imagine?
Oh my god.
I saw him twice.
Oh,
Dude, it was,
I hate it every time you say that.
it was,
I don't want to hear
it blew my, I am the highway. I'm going to cry right now.
yeah. I can see in your eyes you are.
Yeah.
But he was the best.
Oh, he was so good. Yeah.
So next up, we have our beer of the week. We ready for that?
Do we
We
need
are.
a break?
We have to go get
we
it.
need to. Yeah, we need to take a second
It's
break.
chilling right now.
You know,
because
this
I was
one-
told it had to be chilled.
Oh, is it a
Did
raspberry?
you just put it in though? Oh,
If
We'll
it's a
never know.
raspberry wheat beer,
yeah, dude.
do not bring it in here.
Hey, so
I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's going to be a mystery. Can I just pour it? Or do you want to see the whole can?
I
I
want
want
you
to
to.
see everything.
I don't want to know anything about it. I want
Okay.
to taste it and then have you read.
Okay.
The
So
notes.
I will hide Ruck and I's.
Well, I want to. I'll taste it without seeing the notes. That's fine.
And then
I
the
won't read
can,
them.
and then the can.
We'll
We'll bring out the can.
whatever. I want to see the can eventually. Though.
I know it's
Yeah.
it's a great can actually.
I
It
mean-
might be a top 3 can.
Compared to like the can that's in my hand right now, that's like bottom 3 can.
That's
like
a
what?
0.
That
No,
can
that
is
can
good.
you have
So what are you
looks
currently,
like,
Ruck? What are you currently drinking?
Alaskan Juno juice.
and it looks like a can that was made by a student in 1988.
And that's
100%.
That's a hazy IPA.
Yeah, but man, it is so malty. There's nothing hazy about it. It tastes
But it's
like
Alaskan Amber is the brewing company.
Oh,
Do you
I-
think
I know.
hazy is more of a visual thing than a taste thing?
I think that people treat it that way at this point, which is unfortunate. I think that hazies should have a lot of citrus notes. Should be pretty orange juice like.
And your hazies don't exist anymore.
What?
Very special places. Like everyone now is like, I'll get the hazy. I'm like,
What's the
everyone's
popular
making a
thing?
hazy.
People just want to say
No,
hazy.
what you said though,
Yeah.
that beer is a true hazy.
The one I'm describing.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, they put hazy on anything. And I don't like wheat flavor in any of my beers. FYI, if anyone buys a beer for the show, don't buy a Hefeweizen. Don't buy something with wheat in it.
Do you remember before
Don't want that
IPA
flavor.
when people drank Hefeweizen?
That was big. You put an orange in it.
You'd put an orange.
Yeah.
I started out for the first time drinking Alaskan Amber, Mac and Jacks,
Mac and Jack.
Those are fine.
and Red Hook ESB. That was it. There wasn't beer on tap. Like,
There was beer on tap.
well, no, there were not those, not
No.
IPAs. Like,
Okay. Yeah. I gotcha.
I mean,
Yeah.
those beers.
Yeah, I mean, even in my short existence, the first fancy beers that I had were like Long Hammer IPA.
Yeah. No, that was it.
You'd have
Or-
the long hammer,
The
and like
long
you
hammer.
said, Mac and Jack.
Because that was all a brewery that was in like Woodinville.
Yes.
And the crazy part is that Boundary Bay, which is my formative years in Bellingham, they were one of like the craft brewers that had some like crazy beers you couldn't find in other places, like the Scotch Ale, the Oatmeal Stout. And now, like Boundary Bay is, if they are the opposite end of the spectrum as far as like cutting edge. Like they don't make anything that's new and exciting.
You know, I think the best place to get an IPA is Stemma.
Yes.
They're
And
great.
I just went to a place this weekend after celebrating our pickleball. Twin
Sisters.
sisters.
Ooh.
Never been there.
It's great. Huge.
Yes. Very nice. They had a good IPA.
Are you sure you haven't been there? I feel like I've been there.
I think
and
I
you
went
were
there with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe after a hockey game.
Yeah. I don't know. What
I think we went there after a hockey game.
But
Yeah.
they were good. But Stemma, yeah, the best grilled cheese truck around.
Oh, Stemma's grilled cheese truck.
And they also have like a Mexican food truck there.
They
don't
do now.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember when the Farm Strong had the sushi by Chin?
I didn't go
Oh,
there.
yes, I do.
Yeah.
I remember one time I asked them to put jalapeno cheddar Cheeto dust on the one I wanted, and the guy was like, "Yeah, dude, that sounds fantastic.
What?
Let's do it."
Man.
I'm sweating already.
Hey, so we said
Yeah.
we were going to take a break about 5 minutes ago, didn't we? Do we need to take a break, or do you just want to go
we have
grab
to
them?
get the beer.
Oh, all
So
right.
I think we need a break.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
We're going to do
Taking
a
a
blind
break.
taste test.
Yeah, second break. Here we go. Welcome back to the View from the Rock podcast. Back from our second break of the episode. I guess we had so much to talk about after having months and months off that we went long. We are diving into our beer of the week. And Jason, what is our beer of the week?
Well, it's a different little format this week. So it's poured, but you don't know what it is. It's from our loyal friend Tara, and this is her redemption tour beer.
So in
Can
other
anyone
words-
else want to say about the first beer?
I thought her first beer was amazing.
Oh God, you're such a suck up. Swap.
I mean,
Ruck.
Tara's
you
one
can be
of,
honest.
Tara's one of my top 5 people that I don't know, but I feel like I really do know her. I mean, I do know her. I've met her, but she's an amazing person, and I would never say anything bad about her.
Okay. All right, Tara. What? You can blame me. Jellyfish Brewing Company,
Where are they from?
Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
Oh,
And you have a beer poured in front of you. Would you please try it?
It's a beautiful pour.
very golden.
It's a beautiful beer color.
Very ambery, golden.
Swappy is drinking out of a 777 cup, restaurant brewery, almost like a slot machine.
Definitely not hazy, but there's some cloudiness. But for the most part, it's fairly transparent.
Slim head.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know how long it sat for though.
Not very long. It was great pours.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to try this beer. I'm now drinking this beer. What do you think?
And a second taste.
Okay.
I tried to smell it. I don't really smell much. You know, it's funny. I accidentally, because the notes are in front of me and I've been trying to not look at them. And one of the first things in the notes I accidentally saw, but it's also what I was thinking. So I think that flavor's definitely there. So I won't say that because
Is that a Kolsch?
Nope.
Is it a Saison?
Nope.
I mean, I already saw what kind of beer it is. So I'm not going to guess that.
What do you taste in there?
I taste some citrusy tones.
Yep,
Yeah, definitely citrusy.
for sure.
There's that I don't know if it's a bitter grapefruit or melon. There's something in there. The thing that I definitely tasted at first, which was in the notes, was peach, which is a really odd flavor to have in a beer. But I 100% taste that sort of peachy, peach skin sort of flavor.
So it's balanced at its core. It'll greet you with peaches, pine, and bright citrus.
There's very low malt. It's not bitter.
Yeah, that's a good point. Low malt.
Balanced, dank pine and citrus.
I think that bitter taste I'm getting that I thought could have been grapefruit is definitely that pine, now that you say that.
It is piney.
Oh, yeah.
I don't taste any dank.
No dank.
All right.
Well,
Tell us more. Is it an IPA?
It is. It's called the Smack IPA.
Ooh.
Their motto is "Get your tongue stung." Aimless, brainless, bloodless, and spineless since 2017.
Holy cow.
It's a Northwest IPA.
I can see that.
7% ABV.
Okay.
70 is the IBU.
That's low.
I think that's decently high. That's pretty high.
I don't taste a lot of bitterness.
I get that pine bitter though.
Okay.
But it's definitely not the most bitter thing I've drank. Again, IBUs I think is pretty subjective.
So also Untapped gives it a 3.81 out of 5 with over 4,000 check-ins.
I like this better than her previous beer.
I agree.
Of course. Yes, it's better.
I would say that this is one of those beers for me, and maybe that's the dank coming in because we tried a beer before that was, well, it was some sort of dank beer. Do you remember Froggy or something like that? And dank beers for me, especially bitter ones, tend to be really exhausting for my mouth. Like I feel very fatigued as far as my taste goes, to where I don't want to have a bunch of those. Like I don't think I'd want to have a second.
What would you pair this with?
I think actually a nice piece of winter cod.
Ooh. Oh. I'll be damned.
So can you tell me the definition of smack as a noun?
Smack as a noun?
I mean, if it's a noun, it's a thing. So smack, wouldn't that be a drug?
Smack as a noun. Could it perhaps be a noun used to describe a gang of undulating jellyfish?
Oh,
That is correct. That is the how they got Smack IPA.
so like
Those damn cephalopods.
instead of saying like a murder of crows, you'd say a smack of jellyfish.
And wait, are you ready to see the can?
Yeah. Oh, you left it in the other room?
We are waiting with bated breath for the unveiling of
So-
the can.
Would you say this is a beer now that you've had it, that if you saw in the store, you'd buy it?
Look at that can.
Oh, that's nice. You know what?
That might be the most beautiful can I've ever seen.
I like that plastic finish that they have on it. That feels nice in the hand.
That is a beautiful can.
I told you it was top 3 can.
Yeah. No, that's an amazing can. This is a good beer. It's a good beer.
Do you think the redemption tour is a 1 or a
Success.
0?
It's a 1.
Ruck?
1.
I'll give her a 1.
Here's my question. Did she try this before she gave it to us?
I know the answer to that.
Oh, and I'm going to be disappointed probably, so don't tell me.
I will let her tell you the answer.
I would just love to get a beer.
I'll just say that there's only 3 beers here of that beer.
So someone drank some.
And no one drank them from this house.
So she tried it.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's good. So then my question is, did she like it? Because I would hope that at some point she could have an IPA that she liked a lot. Like I would like to try her favorite IPA.
I don't know if this was her favorite. I think it was the redemption.
Like I don't want her to get stuff that she thinks that we would like.
I would love to see her love or us try her favorite IPA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if she has one.
Does she not like IPAs that much?
No.
Yeah, well, okay.
This is a good beer.
It is.
It is.
This is a good beer. And a beautiful can.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I approve.
Yeah.
Good job.
Nice work,
Way to
Tara.
go, Tara. Hey, so let's roll right into our top 3 burger toppings.
I'm excited about this.
Does anyone feel really strongly about what they have for number 3 that they want to start us off?
I have 4. And I'm going to narrow it down to 3.
I mean, we can have like a honorable mention.
Can we just maybe just have this be kind of an organic conversation?
Sure.
So how do you guys feel about bacon?
I have a hot take with bacon. I think it's overrated as far as the topping.
Really?
I think it's overrated in that people naturally just kind of go, well, the best burger is going to have bacon on it.
Okay.
And while I like bacon on my burger, some of the best burgers I've had did not have bacon on it.
Can I ask you another question about bacon?
Yeah.
Regardless of burger, crispy or chewy?
Well, I think its application would depend.
No, I have a hot
Like-
take on that.
Like, before you give us your hot take, I would say you need to, if it's going to be on a burger, I don't want it chewy because then it's going to mess up the bite through. And I'm going to be trying to get it
disagree.
off of the burger. On the burger, I prefer a easy bite through. And it's a lot more common that if it's crispy, I can just snap right through it. And I'll actually get that texture.
But you
along
have a
with it.
moist burger. You don't want a crispy piece of bacon.
So you want chewy.
I do. I don't want super crispy bacon.
I want my bacon crisped to smithereens. I want it to disintegrate when I touch it.
But that's on my burger. If I'm having it just as a side for breakfast, then I want it to be cooked long and slow in the oven so that the fat has really rendered out, and I don't want it to be blackened or super crispy.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with the bacon part of that.
Okay.
But honestly, my favorite burger does not have bacon on it.
Okay.
That's just, I'm not picking bacon on when I go places.
So I think we've eliminated bacon now from top 3. But we've addressed the bacon situation.
I would say bacon's top or number 3 for me.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I just feel like I really don't like a lot of toppings on my burgers. So for
The
me,
new smash burger
well, I mean,
doesn't
Yeah.
have much.
it doesn't. Yeah. So I'll say bacon's my number 3.
Okay.
See,
Do
go ahead.
you want me to do my number 3?
Well, are we done with the honorable mentions?
Well,
That
You
was your
guys-
honorable
do you
mention.
like a little
Is that what I
lettuce?
hear?
so
Depending on,
Hey, but before we go any further, we said no condiments, right? So that
Correct.
means no. We're not including sauce,
or sriracha,
which is a sauce.
but a special sauce.
Sure.
Okay.
So one of the questions that was brought up today, what is guac?
Because that impacts my number 3.
I don't think that's a sauce.
Okay. Yeah, because it has to be, you have to change it to get into the guacamole.
Yeah, I've never thought about it as a sauce from the standpoint of you still need to have other sauces on it. Like you're still going to have probably mayonnaise on that, or maybe even sriracha or some sort of creamy chipotle.
So guac is your number 3.
I'm not sure it's my number 3.
I personally don't really like guac on my burgers or avocado. I think it increases the fat levels so much that it really takes away from the taste.
So
But
this
every
is not my,
now and then,
this
it's
is not
amazing.
my number 3, but bacon and avocado on a burger
Yeah.
is pretty damn good.
That sounds good.
I think the tricky part here is if you're going with just like an average actual like burger itself, then you want to put a lot of stuff on it to hide that the burger's not super flavorful. You know?
I want a good tomato on my burger.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh,
No tomato for me.
I love it.
That's number 3 for me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like a nice.
So do you salt and pepper the tomato first?
Oh yeah, and then a little thick, nice. Oh,
Is that on the
circumference it's big.
Like BLT on your burger.
Yes,
underneath the patty or on top?
on top.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I might be actually removing bacon. As far as when I think about like necessary things, I don't think it's in there.
No, bacon is not. It's just an extra. Like it's. I don't know.
It's fun, but it doesn't need to be at the party.
Okay. So are we to number 3 yet?
I gave you my number 3.
Okay, my
Tomatoes.
number 3 then is a egg.
Yeah.
Egg's good. What kind of egg?
Over easy.
So that now here, do you like to start to bite into the burger before the egg has broken its yolk?
No, I want the yolk in every bite.
It's broke
But
if
like-
it's over easy.
No, but like, it's in there, it hasn't broken. Do you press on it first to get it to start gushing? Or do you want it to explode in your mouth?
Oh my God.
What did you say?
So what's the burger at Red Robin with the egg? The Royal?
And
the
then
Royal.
from Pulp Fiction, the Royale with cheese.
But I think that was like a quarter pounder.
But didn't it have egg on it?
I don't know.
So most burgers from like going to Australia, there was a lot of egg on it. I think I would love it, but I just want my egg to be on my breakfast sandwich.
Okay.
That's how I've always loved it. And it's over easy. It's exactly what's on your burger. But I would love to try one.
You know, here's another
With you.
top 3 that we could do. Top 3, if you could add any one thing to a meal to make it better, I think that's like the runny egg. Like you can add a runny egg to a lot of different things.
Like leftover Thanksgiving stuffing.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it elevates. So like,
So good.
or like just even,
You just made that up, or have you done it?
I've done it.
or you
on
just
numerous
make yourself
occasions.
like a crappy thing of top ramen. Just grab an egg
Oh.
and the last little part when it's boiling, throw it in there. Whew, that's nice.
So take the leftover Thanksgiving stuffing, fry it in a pan so it's crispy, and then put an egg on that.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Sometimes I've gotten crazy and you throw it in the waffle maker. A little more surface area.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Anyways, we're off
we
topic.
got a new
but,
waffle maker.
Really?
Yeah. It's the nice individual one. It's really
like
nice.
the Belgian one with the deep.
Yeah.
So I used to have one for the kids when they were little that made a waffle in the shape of circus animals.
That's awesome.
So, you know, for my number 3, I like the egg. I think it's a lot to have on a burger. I'm thinking about like my essentials. I guess I'm going to go with pickles.
Ooh.
I need pickles on my burger.
That's my number 2.
Nice.
Really?
Yes. That's Rowan's number 1.
I'll be damned.
He asks for extra pickles and extra pickles every time we go anywhere.
Now, do you guys make your own pickles?
No. We should.
Do you guys grow cucumbers?
Yes, but they're not the
Yeah, they're not the.
They're
yeah,
big.
Yeah.
they're not the they're the the English.
English. Yeah, yeah.
So that would be awesome.
I bet you could spear those, but they're probably a little bit too soft.
I'm not gonna
Oh man.
I'm that's my number 2, pickles.
Okay, so my number 2 is blue cheese.
Oh,
You know-
that's straight Kelly.
I
just-
love.
God, you
I
guys
love
are-
just putting blue cheese, gorgonzola, all just immerse the burger in it.
So do you like a blue cheese for your salad dressing?
Yes.
Okay. That's you have an acquired taste for that. Like blue cheese is either blue cheese or ranch.
Correct.
And your blue cheese.
100%.
I love both. My question for you though is, do you want just crumbles, or just a like thick blue cheese sauce, or do you want both?
I'm good either way, but I would prefer to get blue cheese, a wedge,
A wedge.
cut it up into crumbles, and put it on my burger.
Okay.
And then it melts on the burger.
And melts in a weird way, like just doesn't completely liquefy,
That sounds
but
so
just
good.
softens.
I do really like a burger with blue cheese on it. It's an extremely powerful flavor, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an aspect to maybe why I didn't choose that, because I thought about choosing that I feel like it can really take over the flavor of the burger. So again, if I've got a burger that's like an okay burger, wasn't smashed super well, or it's not like maybe a dry aged beef patty, then it's probably fine. Like, if you go out to Bastion, get the blue cheese burger, it's great. I mean, their burgers, like their actual patty is not great. So like it needs to be elevated by something strong like that.
Yeah. What's your number 2?
Pickles.
Oh, that's right.
I love pickles.
My number 2 is
You said pickles.
no, number 3 was pickles. I demoted bacon out of my top 3.
So what's your number 2?
Number 2 is onions, but like I could take any form of onions, but my preference for onions is like the cooked, sautéed, almost like jammy onions.
Yeah.
Caramelized.
Caramelized, thank you.
But have you ever done those with little bacon bits in them?
I haven't.
Oh, that's
Like burger topper.
Sounds really good.
I know. I'm kind of hungry right now.
Let's go.
Like burger topper? Is
Burger
that-
topper.
Yeah.
I almost drove the opposite way to go to Dick's Burgers with the boys.
I love Dick's.
Remember going to Dick's the morning after the White Buffalo?
Yes. A few of our listeners were part of the crew.
Yes.
I did it for Philip.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like animal style burger, In-N-Out, like you get those same kind of caramelized onions in there. They're not quite to the level that I would prefer to caramelize them. I want a lot of caramelization going on, make them real nice and sweet. But yeah, number 2 for me, caramelized onions.
So are we to number 1?
And you know what goes great with caramelized onions on a burger? Blue cheese.
Yes.
Salty, sweet.
Yeah. You've got all the flavor notes.
What's your number 1?
You ready for this? Fake cheese, real cheese.
Fake cheese,
That's
real
2
cheese.
toppings.
Fake cheese, real cheese.
Can you get that with 1?
Yeah. So you get the fake cheese and the Kraft singles, the worst thing in the history of man, but it's magic on a burger.
Brennan loves that. He said it today. That's
Fake-
his number 1.
Fake cheese, real cheese.
Yeah.
So what kind of real cheese?
Can be anything. Can be cheddar. Can be blue.
Just for the record, I think you're cheating by putting both of them there.
Well, no, it can be anything. But the fake cheese seals in. If you put it on top, when it melts, it seals in. It coagulates.
So there's an order you need.
Yes.
You go fake cheese over the real cheese.
Yes. And the fake cheese seals it in.
And it's always just 2 slices, 1 of each.
Yeah.
But that's 2 different things.
No, fake cheese, real cheese is one thing.
So can you just say cheese
no, fake
as,
cheese, real cheese.
a top 3?
I mean, I think that you could, But then we'd ask you what your preference of cheese was.
No.
Well, I just went to the best smash burger I've ever had in Bellingham. So it's cheddar.
Was that Twin Sisters? Is that what
No.
you're talking about? Where?
It was the
cabin.
cabin.
Oh,
Yes. Uncle Neil took us. It was amazing. They have a microphone where the guy that's cooking, he stops the music. Order for Neil. And then the entire place, and then they go up, and it's so good.
so did you just say what your number one was? Just
Yeah.
cheese?
Cheddar. A nice cheddar. I like a pepper jack. I like a lot of cheese, so it's hard.
Fake cheese, real cheese.
I like pepper jack. It's good.
There's so much.
I like Gouda, like a good
Yeah.
smoked Gouda.
Oh, man.
Smoked Gouda has a lot of qualities like a processed cheese, and so it melts very nicely.
But so, Ruck, think about your camping
yeah.
at the cabin for 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
You're going to have probably 6 burgers.
Yeah.
How much, one's a good cheddar, one's a good pepper jack.
No, here's what's going to happen. You're going to buy the crappiest American cheese you can find, and every one of them is going to be a freaking American cheeseburger because we're damn Americans.
And then,
Because that's my number one, American cheese. You can't get better than American cheese. I don't even want to mess with real cheese. I want 2 slices of American cheese so it's dripping down the sides, letting every other country know we're better.
You know what I've been doing for breakfast the last week is doing toast,
Yeah.
an over easy egg, and
Yep.
2 slices of Kraft cheese.
Yes. And sriracha.
Yes.
Have you ever done a nice fried egg on toast?
Yeah.
So have you tried the chili garlic oil?
No.
Yeah, that's kicking it up. Okay, speaking of which, if you go to Dad's Diner, you can get their chili garlic aioli, and it comes on their fried chicken sandwich, which best fried chicken sandwich around. But you can just get that on the side as a dipping sauce, the chili garlic aioli. It's incredible. I think that on top of what you're saying right there, it's a winner.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Man.
I'm hungry.
Well, it's barbecue season coming up.
Yeah, if we get
is.
some good weather. You know what I just ordered the other day? A smoker.
What, you did?
I ordered a
You
smoker.
better not order the one Josh had.
No, I didn't.
What happened to his?
It went
Well, the problem was
kaput like after a year and a half or 2.
he left some of the pellets in the hopper, and in the winter there's condensation, and so those expanded, and it like basically blocked it all up to where you couldn't redeem it. So it wouldn't have been ruined. It was just, first time with the machine, not knowing how it works.
What kind of a smoker did you buy?
I bought the Weber Smoky Mountain. It's a vertical smoker, so you can hang stuff from the inside of it, and it's on the bottom where the smoke rises.
You're going to have a lot of hanging meat.
I'm going to try to let my meat hang a lot in that thing. Might have to bring it out to the beach. You know what we had at the beach last time? You're going to have to help me with if we go out there for the podcast. It was something that's almost the size of this table in front of us, which is a 6-foot table, I believe. And it's made of giant pieces of metal, and there's a grate on one side and a flat top on the other. And you put giant pieces of wood or charcoal in there, and it's just you cook lots of meat.
Oh,
it's amazing.
Well, you have a nice outdoor grill, or family grill.
Oh, but here, I'll show you. I've got a picture ready.
My grandpa, we had like an 8-foot brick smoker that my great grandpa built, that my dad would do salmon for years in the 80s. So the Christmas gifts were everyone got salmon.
Can you describe what you're looking at?
No.
Yeah,
That's
it's amazing.
the smoker?
No, that's not the smoker. That's the
Or the
cooker that I have out there. Yeah, it's cool. Anyways, I think that wraps up our top 3 burger toppings.
That was good.
So, what would you guys do with mushrooms on your burger?
Oh,
I
didn't even
love
think about
mushrooms.
Well, see, I know, and I was like, that's a top 5.
Yeah.
You know,
But some people, want it all the time.
So I think
Some don't,
ideally you have the sauteed onions and you have the mushrooms mixed in with it, and then you do fake cheese over the top of that, and you have burger topper.
I think that we could have expanded this to like a top 10. And I think it would have been a good choice if we had realized how important cheese is in general. And we probably could have just went like cheese, because it was like 1 and 2 for you. It was 1
Well,
for
yeah.
me.
I mean,
it was
if you
1
take
for you.
cheese out, and then you can just say, okay, what is without? Everyone does cheese, so without cheese, let's go.
Yeah. And I mean, we could even do top 3 cheeses on burgers.
We could, and we also talked about today top 3 burger places
That's true.
and
we
top 3
visited.
and top 3 fast food restaurants.
Yep, those will be the next.
Yeah, I need to do some burger homework over the next
Well,
little
the
bit.
top 3 that I've been to, where my favorite burger is.
The problem is I have a lot that are not in this area that anyone can get to.
The state of Washington.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you'd...
So where
Keep it
would
to?
they be?
Well, I can't say right now. That's another episode. I'm just saying some of my favorite burgers are in... One of them's in California and one's in London. So,
So those are out.
yeah.
Wow.
I already have one that's amazing, and we talked about it.
The cabin.
Yeah. Oh, it blew my mind.
Hey, you're ruining great material.
Well, that's number 4.
So, mental note, maybe some of our listeners can remind us what our next topic is. Burgers that we've had, top 3.
Yeah, top 3. And, if you have any other topics you think that we need to do, reminder, let us know about that at theviewfromtherock@gmail.com. And remember that you can listen to our podcast anywhere that you listen to your podcast, like Apple Music, Spotify. Where else is there to listen to podcasts? YouTube.
YouTube, still.
Yep, still on YouTube. And in the meantime, we will see you
Next time.
Next time.
She went.
Every time.